saying this. So yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get right into it. I don't want to ramble on too long here. All right. So we got to get into a couple things in here tonight. We got to talk about Apple. Apple has unveiled a 250,000 square feet Houston factory. All right. So we're going to talk about it from the supply chain standpoint. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about it from the security standpoint. I'm just going to give my overall commentary on it as well. And we're going to talk about a deadly Hollywood recording studio shooting. We're going to talk about that as well, right? We also got to talk about the Idaho, one of the heroes from Idaho shooter, the situation that happened in the In-N-Out Burger early this month. One of the shooters, not shooters, I'm sorry, the heroes, was honored in the Twin Cities, in the Twin Falls shooting as well. Jordan Salas. And then we also got to get into Stephen A. Smith refusal to back down. Stephen A. Smith has been under fire with this journalist. I think it's Black Journalist Conference. They gave him the thumbs down award. I've been reading a little bit about it, hearing a little bit about it. So we're going to talk about that from a standpoint. That video is actually a little bit longer. So it's going to come towards the last. It's going to come towards the end. And it's like an 8.5-minute video. So I'll play a little bit and jump in, chime in. So it don't really feel like I'm just playing the whole video, and y'all can get a little bit of my commentary, get a little bit of both. So with all those things, again, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. And we're going to jump right into it, to this first story of Apple.
Apple is expanding its Houston footprint, opening a new advanced manufacturing center at its facility in North Harris County. Outgoing CEO Tim Cook was here for the grand opening and spoke about Apple's investment in American manufacturing and his legacy. CBS's Joe Ling Kent has this exclusive.
We are proud to put our money where our mouth is.
In his final weeks as Apple CEO, Tim Cook has placed a Texas-sized bet on Houston.
Nice to meet you.
Alongside Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Cook toured this construction zone set to produce Mac Mini computers come December. Cook spoke to us exclusively.
Lots of different manufacturing is here. In fact, it's 450,000 jobs total in the United States.
Apple's chief operating officer, Sabi Khan, took us inside.
Would Apple have made the $600 billion investment had it not been for tariffs and pressure by the Trump administration?
Our supply chain is very global. And in this world, you need supply chain resiliency. So for us to diversify and have a global supply chain is really beneficial for the long term.
As Apple has invested billions, it's simultaneously raised prices on several products.
There's a component memory that is rising at an unprecedented rate in a very short amount of time. And we're not immune to that, and we're working with our supply chain to find a way out of this.
Apple is also creating a new talent pipeline, training entrepreneurs and students for free, as Trump's trade policies remain turbulent.
What's your message to American businesses who feel destabilized by tariff policies?
The Trump administration has been very clear. Build it here, hire American workers here, and you pay no tariff.
Apple's big bet comes as Cook prepares to step down as CEO.
As you look back on your time as CEO, in a word, what have you stood for?
You're asking me a legacy question, and it's a good question. But in my view, your legacy is described by others, not yourself. And so I hope that people say I was a good and decent man. And if they say that at the end of the day, I feel like I have achieved something.
Cook will become executive chairman of Apple come September 1st. And he tells me in our interview that Apple will remain his primary focus. This is the company faces big challenges coming up, including how it will compete in AI and how much more you might pay for your next iPhone. Jolene Kent, CBS News, Houston.
My first thought about this, because I heard Tim Cook is a great CEO. He's really about the company. He's really about the business, about the brand. His political personal views are like out of it, keeps it out of it and whatnot. So that's what I kind of look for in the CEO. I mean, he's more visible than others, and that might shake up a couple shareholders. But my thoughts are, with everything in respects to what the Trump administration has been doing, I know that might be toxic, but it takes a while to stand up manufacturing. But a lot of our jobs were leaving. right? Manufacturing, because we can't keep outsourcing jobs and with bad policy. So previous administrations just kicking the can down the road until Trump said, "Hey, no." And with this kind of stuff, and again, there's gonna be some mashing of the teeth, but I think eventually, yeah, we all have to. Everyone, it's gonna pay. It's gonna be a price hike. It's gonna be, because it always is, right? But be better off to get it here than trying to get it from somewhere else across the world or whatnot. I'm not saying these people don't have offices and manufacturing places around the world, but it's time to bring most of the jobs, most of the manufacturing jobs back here, and to boost and help our economy and national security and stuff like that. That's just my mellow spiel. But this is big because like Samsung, I did a story. Samsung is actually moving their headquarters from New Jersey to, I think it's Plano, Texas. They're moving the headquarters, I think, at the end of this year as well. They got a building already there, and they're going to move their headquarters from there. And Texas is it's tax friendly to corporate as far as companies. So there's a lot of companies there, right? You got SpaceX, so so Texas is becoming a new spot, a place to set up shop. Be on the lookout for that. So it's an exciting time. You got to think how many jobs it's going to bring on. That's going to bring in a huge amount of substantial amount of jobs and opportunity. Like they said, they're training young entrepreneurs for free to ultimately get on with the company. So yeah, I think this is good. It's just, again, my quick, just off the glance, just off the surface, but we can talk about it from I guess my thing is from a supply chain standpoint. What are the tax incentives or infrastructure subsidies were granted by local authorities to secure the Houston server facility? Let's take a look. Let's ask. But I think it's good. This is going to be some pain points, of course, hiring and I'm sorry. So I got some news here, something recently of July 24th. So I have here, oh, my bad. Just a little bit on my screen here. So the Texas lawmakers, and Texas lawmakers are saying because of data centers and stuff like that. So that's also been a big concern, a big thing lately. So it says after years of courting data centers investment in Texas, state leaders are confronting a new question: who should pay for the enormous amount of infrastructure needed to power them? Texas lawmakers are set to examine whether billions of dollars in tax incentives for data centers still provide enough benefit to justify their growing costs. So the question is, it says, what tax incentives or infrastructure subsidies were granted by local authorities? This article I'm reading is back in July 24th. It's asking Greg Abbott so here's the actions. Okay. It says Texas created a data center sales tax exemption to attract technology investment, including data centers that support cloud computing and artificial intelligence. Under the law, Texas exempt qualifying data centers from paying sales tax on many of the items used to build and operate facilities, including servers and cooling equipment, backup generators, networking equipment, and electricity, provided the projects meet the state requirement. Separate incentives created in 2015. So a lot of this was decades, almost like 13, 14 years ago, or 11 years ago in some cases. A separate incentive created in 2015 established more generous requirements for large data centers. The Texas comptroller estimates the value combined exemptions will exceed $1 billion fiscal year 2025, grow about $1.75 billion annually by 2030. By 2020, it said the Texas comptroller estimated data centers exemptions would cost the state about $29 million in fiscal year 2025. 5 years later, the agency estimated. Okay, yeah. So I know that's like the boring numbers and stuff like that, but the numbers to the people, it matters. So what do I think of this? And I think my second question is from a security standpoint. From a security standpoint, what physical and cybersecurity compliance checks are required to handle domestic AI servers on site? Let's see. So I know it didn't cover it in this article, but we'll do a quick little Google search here. I'm sorry if I'm boring you all. Got to get the information out to people. right? I'm going to say, in summary, an on-site AI server manufacturing requires layer approach, robust physical access control, strict identity and access governance, and continuous monitoring and compliance with any state relative federal AI laws. But I heard a lot about it. So I think this is a good thing. I'm not saying that it won't be without any pushback, but it's already going forward. It's already taking place. We in August, so they plan to have this building operational, fully operational occupancy by December, right? And probably fully really staffed in 20. I would say maybe the building may be ready by December, and I think people start trickling in there by Q1 of 2027. So from the political economic standpoint, we also heard about we've heard from US Secretary Howard Lutnick and other officials underscoring the administration's push to bring advanced manufacturing back to America. Houston Mayor John Whitmire praised the investment for boosting local jobs and quality of life. The strategic significance here for Houston, for this Houston facility, the first US site, this will be the first US site to produce Mac Minis. So anybody who's like any Apple, any of my peoples out there, any viewers or future viewers or subscribers, because I know we all have our different ecosystems. We have Apple, we have Samsung, we have HP, so on and so forth, right? So this will be the first US site that produced Mac Minis. Also, a key part of Apple's strategy to reshore AI and advanced manufacturing amidst US trade policy pressures. So it's better to, again, because right now the terror war is not dying down. So you'll be better to do it here than trying to go outsource it somewhere else, because it's going to cost you way more long term to try to build it out of the country. And I know listen, I'm not the sharpest at this, but it doesn't mean I'm not trying to understand this. But it just means even if we got to pay higher costs, I'd rather pay higher costs to get it made here than trying to fight the pay even higher costs to get it from overseas, to go through all the processes to get it over here. They're cheaply making our parts, and we're getting charged. We already getting charged, but we're gonna get charged way more for cheaper parts. Y'all how this stuff work. Not the but I mean, also integrated with Apple's broader $500 billion US investment plan, which includes AI infrastructure, silicone engineering, and supply partners. In short, Apple's Houston AMC is both a production hub for flagship products and a training center for American manufacturing talent, reflecting the company's commitment to reshoring high-tech manufacturing. So this is a huge deal. Shout out to Tim Cook. Let me give him a hand clap, man. This is huge. I know I'm probably in short, I know I'm not, like I said, this is not a finance channel, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna be challenged. I'm not gonna challenge myself to cover the news and jobs, whatever is new jobs, layoffs, and economics and stuff like that. We'll cover it, because you got to audit life before life audits it for you. And I think for anybody that's in the opportunity of looking in the tech industry, look at Apple. This is a good opportunity. So anybody looking for an opportunity to move and innovate and elevate, this is one of the opportunity to look at. I'll take a gander at it. Now, long term, we'll see how this goes. Usually might need about 5 years to kind of see where this be, 5-10 years or whatnot. But kind of given that some of the other cities, you kind of see what's going on in like New York and New Jersey with them trying to go after Amazon and suing Amazon. Most businesses at the end of the day, they just pull out and go somewhere else. And you can't get mad at them. You can get mad all you want, but ain't nobody gonna be trying to, you're not gonna rake our feet over the fire when we can just simply just move somewhere else, whatnot. So if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, shout out to this. This is actually pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Also one more, I think the last thing, the facility is expected to employ thousands of workers and create local jobs. But to also have it as a flagship production hub for products and a training center all in one. So essentially this might be, I know that their headquarters are in Silicon Valley, but you might have this might be the second biggest hub. in Texas. But yeah. So anybody who's interested in looking for a job and opportunity career, definitely look at this. This is good. I mean, I don't see no problem with it at all. There's always going to be some stuff going to hurt early on. When you're trying to stand up businesses up, you're trying to bring back manufacturing jobs. That's pretty much part of the pitch for the Trump administration is bringing back manufacturing jobs, to bring back more jobs. It may take some time to stand it up. There may be some higher costs early on, but I think over time it'll level out, and we'll see. We'll see. But we're going to move on to the next story. We got to